The upcoming inauguration of Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam, GERD, is a significant event impacting regional diplomacy and sovereignty in the Nile Basin. While Ethiopia sees the dam as a symbol of its influence, Egypt and Sudan are concerned about water security. International mediators play a key role amid political challenges, highlighting the need for transparent dialogue and balanced diplomacy. I'm Gamachisa Mandida, your host, and today's special program features Dr. Yakob Arsano, a political scientist specializing in the dam's political and regional implications, aiming to promote peaceful water sharing solutions. Stay with us. Dr. Yakob, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Well, of course, today the inauguration of the Ethiopian Grand Renaissance Dam is our topic, and I hope everybody would say congratulations to all Ethiopians.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So let me begin with how the construction of the GERD has influenced the diplomatic relationships between Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt.
Yes. Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt are the three countries that share the water resources of the Nile in general, and Abai, on which the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is built, is also shared water. It emanates from Ethiopia, like many other Nile tributaries, and then goes to Sudan and Egypt. So when the dam started, Sudan and Egypt, they expressed their concern that the construction of the dam might negatively affect the water flow to Egypt and Sudan. So Ethiopia encouraged them to dialogue on this, and that Ethiopia wanted to explain to them the design and the entire construction plan and the benefit of the dam, which Ethiopia has already studied and estimated. And from Ethiopia's perspective, the benefit of the dam is, of course, first and foremost for Ethiopia's development, but Sudan and Egypt were also welcome to benefit from this, result of the construction. So because of the dam construction, Sudan, Egypt, and Ethiopia started to negotiate, to dialogue on how the dam benefits, all the three countries. So this dialogue, continued for several years. But I think that process of dialogue itself is a very good, catalyst to roll diplomatic relations between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan. Although finally there was not a concluded agreement on this, but the dialogue itself was very healthy and very lively, and there were a lot of ideas went and come. So that is just one aspect of diplomatic relations. In this case, it helped the three countries to dialogue on these shared water resources.
During the building of the GERD, of course, we had political challenges coming from different groups, both domestically and regionally. And could you tell us, just the main political challenges that surrounded the building of the GERD?
Well, these challenges are quite normal. Ethiopia is in the upstream. Egypt and Sudan are in the lower stream. The two downstream countries really made the issue, out of its bound, claiming that the construction of the dam will negatively affect the water flow to Sudan and Egypt. And they appealed to international community, especially to the supporters of Egypt's claim and cause, They also appealed to the Arab League as as an organization, and some Arab countries also sided Egypt in putting up opinion that Ethiopia's dam negatively affects Egypt and Sudan. So that itself is politically challenging, because in the absence of fair kind of consideration of issues, when some countries in the immediate neighborhood and from even from a distance, when they favor one country without really weighing the benefits and number of other considerations, that itself becomes a political challenge. So that is a political challenge. But internally, Ethiopia was very fortunate because the entire Ethiopian population was longing for better development, higher development, and the Ethiopian public has always wanted to develop the water resources, which is there, but which was not developed. And water resources is the most bounteous resource in the country. When these dams started, the whole public was behind the government, in spite of any differences or political altercation. That in fact unified the Ethiopian public. I think that is a very good the political if you like, outcome after the starting of the dam. It was supported in unison, throughout the country and all, sectors of the Ethiopian society.
The GERD has become a symbol of national sovereignty. What does it mean exactly?
Well, I think the dam is built in Ethiopia, within the Ethiopian territory. And the cost of the construction was borne, by Ethiopians, Ethiopian government and the Ethiopian public. So when Ethiopia constructs this dam within the Ethiopian sovereign territory, within the boundaries of the Ethiopian national territory, that makes the dam to be Ethiopia's pride, Ethiopia's responsibility, and Ethiopia's wish to do this kind of development within Ethiopia, within the sovereign territory. So therefore, the dam itself and the building the dam, the decision making to build the dam, and defending the dam, and constructing the dam, and coordinating the resources and the public mobilization for the dam is within the sovereign, wishes, within the sovereign activities of the Ethiopian nation. So that is actually what can be described as the dam is part of the Ethiopian sovereign wish, and that is part of the Ethiopia's sovereign capacity. That is Ethiopia's decision making that makes the dam part of the Ethiopian sovereign interest. So I think if I understood the question correctly, so it's a part, building this dam is a part or function of the Ethiopia's sovereign capacity as as a country, as a capable state, making decision, and making the dam to be constructed effectively.
Yeah, thank you. In relation to this, of course, we've had throughout these years, I mean, ever since the commencement of this dam and until it reaches, this stage, we've had regional and international actors that, of course, have influenced the diplomatic negotiations surrounding the GERD, and how do you describe that?
But you can take the actors. When you talk about actors, within the Nile Basin, the upstream countries as actors in the Nile Basin and as actors in the international arena. In this case, the upstream supported Ethiopia's case because before the dam started to be built, upstream countries were, in support of developing the water resources cooperatively, because the shared water resources make only, good sense if they are developed cooperatively. So Egypt and Sudan consistently rejected the signing of Nile Cooperative Framework Agreement, which is part of the negotiated process, and it is the result of the negotiated agreement. So when Egypt and Sudan rejected to sign Cooperative Framework Agreement, the upstream countries were really very much displeased for the arrogance or for the unilateral wish or unilateral pressure of downstream countries who claim that the water belongs to them. And if other water sharing countries wish to develop the water resources, those countries have to get consent from Egypt. And that kind of action from Egypt, wish from Egypt, Sudan also included, on and off. The other actors in the Nile Basin were on the side of Ethiopia because the case and the cause also relates to them. It is very much interesting to them. As upstream countries, they cannot be told that they cannot develop their water resources without Egypt's consent. So in this case, what Ethiopia did was what they would have wished and what they would have liked to do. And Ethiopia took the first step, and that step was supported by these Nile Basin international actors. But broadly speaking, in the wider arena, countries diplomatically sympathetic to Egypt were not very much pleased with Ethiopia's constructing this dam. That is why Ethiopia did not even dodge to get any financial support from international financiers or other countries, and that is why Ethiopia decided to build the dam on her own, financial capacity, which came from the government first and foremost, and which was mobilized from the public very willingly and very smoothly. So international actors are mixed, some supported, like I mentioned, others not necessarily on the side of Ethiopia, but some of them were very openly, giving opinion in favor of Egypt.
Yes, yeah. Despite, of course, these pressures coming from different directions, well, specifically, mainly from Egypt. Now, this dam has come to a completion, and Ethiopia is inaugurating, just this dam in a couple of days' time, and that is very much likely to change the course of things, especially in relation to diplomatic affairs that have been taking place so far. And what do you think, the impact of this inauguration will be on the relationship between, these Nile Basin countries and just beyond?
I think that's a very good question, to think around. The dam is now completed, and water is filled, and the electric production has started, through several turbines, and the remaining turbines will be completed, I think, very soon. So the impact would be that the Nile Basin countries will be very happy in the upstream countries. So that's a great impact. Ethiopia has done it, and they can also do it. Ethiopia was willing to negotiate and sign agreement on the water development of the Nile Basin. So these countries will be very happy, to project themselves, to encourage others to come and make cooperation with them, the downstream countries. If they don't cooperate, then they can go ahead to do their own water development like Ethiopia did. Not because they don't want to cooperate with Egypt, but because Egypt does not want to cooperate with them. So that's a very good lesson. Now Ethiopia has proved that this can be done. In the absence of cooperation, willingness of cooperation from downstream countries, upstream countries have their life in their country, they have people to care for, they have development which is required for their respective public. Therefore, in the absence of any cooperation and willingness to cooperate from downstream countries, then they can go ahead and develop. This is one lesson. The other lesson would be, as a matter of impact, Egypt and Sudan now know that they cannot force other countries not to use the water resources. Now they know that upstream countries have their own national interest to develop a part of their shared waters within their territories, even if Egypt may not accept, may not agree. So in the future, the not agreeing, not cooperating on the part of Egypt is not something good for Egypt. Therefore, Egypt has to learn now either to cooperate with with upstream countries, or upstream countries go unilaterally and develop their water resources. So that is a very important lesson, I think, to the downstream countries to accept. In the broader geopolitical arena, even those who supported Egypt through the negotiation process, or through the during the period of Ethiopia's building the dam, now they know that their siding with Egypt was not fair, and would not really force Ethiopia or any other upstream country not to construct dam or other economic facilities on the water resources, as long as those countries are willing and doing it, as long as they are capable of doing it, as long as that is in service of national interest. So the third parties, even if they support Egypt, even if they do not want the upstream countries to go into such development, now they have no choice but accept what is now on the ground and what is now proven by Ethiopia. So now the resulting impact would be that the third parties, I think, should encourage Egypt, Sudan to cooperate with upstream countries, so that they can prosper together, so that they can work together, so that they can have a common institutional setup, like Nile River Basin Commission, that they can support one another, that they have common geographical environment as far as the water basin is concerned. Therefore, they have common interests. They have common security interests, common economic interests, common interest for protecting the environment. Therefore, I think the third parties can encourage them now, Egypt and Sudan, to cooperate with other countries, so that I think that would make them, sound fair. That would make them politically also willing, to support the fairness rather than, taking side on any party. So that's also very important lesson for countries outside the Nile Basin, those who side one or another party in the process of the construction of the.
Here you mentioned third parties, and if these third parties are supposed to be international institutions, well, so far just they might have played, either positive or negative sides. They might have played, positive or negative roles. As you mentioned earlier, those who aligned with the demands of Egypt might have impacted, the building of the dam negatively, and those who stood with Ethiopia might have played, positive roles. And so, what message do you want to give to these third-party institutions, financially, politically strong, regarding, the situation? I mean, the GERD has completed, the building of the dam has completed, and what kind of roles do you suggest these institutions play?
Well, I think minimally speaking, they must keep themselves neutral. They don't have to side with one or another country, but side with the fairness that Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan, Kenya, Tanzania, and all other basin countries have legitimate national interest. And that legitimate national interest can only be, materialized through cooperation, since the water resources are shared. That is, de facto on the ground. So the third parties, the best they can do is to be neutral. And if they want to involve in any part or any type of development in the basin, then they have to keep themselves, as a third party, not as some country or some actor siding with one or another, basin country. So that keeps, the basin countries independent, safe, and making decisions on their own, for their own purposes. So the third parties really should keep away from, at least meddling in the affairs of the basin politics. So that is, I think, minimally what you would expect from the third parties. If they want to participate in, one or another type of, development cooperation, then they can make an agreement with one or another country, but free of politics, free of siding. But they can do that on business basis, on bilateral, or they can even come and cooperate or participate on a multilateral level. 3 countries or 2 countries making particular development on the shared water resources. They can come and make agreement, a business agreement, development agreement. They can do it without politically siding one or another country. So those are the normal things they can do. Yes, that is what is really expected from the third party actors. Yeah.
Wonderful, great. Well, the GERD has been playing, its own role with regard to how both, Ethiopians and people in other countries, see the situation. I mean, some of them, including, these international institutions that you mentioned now, those who aligned, that aligned with Egypt, they diplomatically, just took action to affect Ethiopia because they were not happy with Ethiopia building this dam. On the other side, domestically, people in the country have come together. They have converged efforts, finance, to build it. And how do you describe, just the role the GERD has played in bringing, Ethiopians together, and what implications might this situation have to unity of Ethiopians?
I mean, that's a great question again, As I mentioned earlier, the Ethiopian public was looking for, developing the national water resources for electricity or for irrigation or for many other things, from, clean drinking water, for a number of, benefits that their water resources can provide. So when the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam started, when the government, decided to build this dam, the entire public was very happy. Happy because they have been looking for this kind of, development. They are happy that now their resource, the water resource, very precious water resource, can be now translated into development. And they are happy also that Ethiopia is capable to develop her water resources like many other resources within their sovereign territory without anybody telling them what to do. So all those things are very much keeping the Ethiopian public, at a very, pride situation. So that is why the Ethiopian public was very easily mobilized to support the dam. And this mobilization was really not difficult in terms of, convincing people. The public was already convinced by the fact that the dam started to be constructed. That is why, government, workers, civil servants, workers in private sectors, students, and faculty in public schools, private schools, in the universities, people even who are not properly employed, like working at jobs, at odd jobs, and so on. All those were mobilized. You can say self-mobilized actually, to contribute money, for this project, which everybody accepted. That is his or her project. That is not somebody's project. Like the former Minister of Water Resources of Ethiopia said on one occasion, that it is my dam, So that became a catchy phrase and catchy motto that everybody really took that literally, and it is my dam. It's not somebody's dam, it's my dam. That's a great motto. And then at one point, I think it was in 2012, there was one big conference, symposium organized by the Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In that workshop, in that symposium, people of all walks came together. University professors, religious leaders, business people, and government officials, and so on. In that meeting, one spiritual father said that this dam has to be supported by all those Ethiopians, except those who are unborn and those who are dead, except those dead and yet unborn. Every Ethiopian supports and should support the dam. So that is actually a kind of bottom line. For everybody, it is most natural that this dam to be supported. And that's why the public, from end to end, in all regions in all zonal level, warada level, even Kabale level, at workplaces, everywhere people were, in different ways supporting the dam. It's a big story. That unified. I mean, your question is how it galvanized the public into a unified action. So that is what I was trying to explain. It really galvanized the entire community to work together and to look forward to construct the dam and to have the dam as a nation's, economic benefit and the nation's pride and expression of Ethiopia's sovereignty, and a big possibility of boosting development in the country through electric production, as well as a number of other activities that can be obtained from the dam.
You remind me of one important point, which is this same scenario, which is integrating all Ethiopians, bringing them together, and then building this dam for the benefit of all Ethiopians is one important thing that comes out of this dam, and you have said it very well. But I think, how about the contribution of this dam for every country in the continent, and particularly in the East African region? How do you think the completion of this dam will impact regional integration in the region, in the continent of Africa, and how do you think that may change the course of things diplomatically amongst these nations?
I think the first and foremost, Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is for electric generation. Now, the electricity that gets generated from the dam will be first and foremost for Ethiopia to electrify Ethiopian countryside, and to make Ethiopian factories and a number of service sectors supported by electric power. That is a big gap this dam will help to fill. But Ethiopia may not right away use all the power produced from Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. There should be a number of infrastructure and other developments that carry the electricity that comes from the dam. But in the meantime, Ethiopia can sell the electricity that may not be used by Ethiopia to the neighboring countries. So far, Sudan is buying a certain amount of power. Djibouti also. South Sudan has interest to buy. Kenya is buying, and Tanzania is now starting to buy already. The agreement has been, as far as as far as my information is concerned. So Tanzania is ready to buy electricity from Ethiopia. So it's also in the best interest to buy electricity from Ethiopia, by Somalia. It is in the best interest of Egypt to buy electricity from Ethiopia, because it is clean and renewable. Because Egypt uses a lot of petroleum and gas, and these kind of power sources are not clean, but they are also expensive. That is Egypt's opportunity. If I want to take you to the reference of the Ethiopia, Egypt, Sudan signed Declaration of Principles in 2015 in Khartoum. One of the provisions, these three countries signed Declaration of Principle, that one provision says the purchase of electricity from Grand Ethiopian Renaissance will be given to Egypt and Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan as a priority. You know, Egypt and Sudan have in the prime line, to purchase the electricity from this dam, and that is a great opportunity to them. Now, I think the core of your question is that if Ethiopia is willing and able to share, Ethiopia's resources with the neighboring countries, in this case, electricity, so neighboring countries will use Ethiopia's resources, and that helps, relations to be much more closer, more interdependent, and then if countries, share the same electricity, if they are friends, there will not be, any reason for, conflict, any reason for, rejecting one another or each other. So they can develop further, now electricity, tomorrow, or maybe other, common development projects that they can really do and benefit each other. And, so the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is one good example that, makes Ethiopia able to share electricity with neighboring countries. And it is a great opportunity for the neighboring countries to buy electricity from Ethiopia on affordable price. And this is a clean technology. And then, of course, Ethiopia did it and they can buy it. That makes the region more peaceful, more stable, and more supportive of one another, more looking to the future in sharing the resources, and collaboratively prosper rather than oppose one another and then create problem to one another. So that kind of relationship will be really positive change in the future. For this, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is a very good, factor, very good catalyst to do this.
Dr. Yakob Arsano, thank you very much for your excellent interview, and especially for coming to our place and give us the interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Viewers, thank you very much for watching our program, which ends right now. Goodbye.